What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to be going over something more geared towards mid-game players. So these are players that have multiple E5 heroes. They don't quite have like the exact heroes they need just yet, but they need heroes that'll be usable in a lot of different game modes. And I want to showcase 5 heroes, so in my opinion, the top 5 heroes that every mid-game player needs, maybe even late-game player, and then maybe once you push towards the end game, some of these can fall off, but honestly, every one of these heroes has a use in just about every part of the game. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you think about the list when we're done down below in the comments. And let's jump right into it. So coming in at number 5, it's going to be Heartwatcher. She is the end-all be-all for any PvE team, whether you're building an Ithaca and Delacium army, you're just building your normal PvE heroes. She is just absolutely required to really maximize your progress in the early and mid-game PvE. Now in the late game, she's still needed, but it really depends on how high you build her up. Typically, a 10-star Heartwatcher is going to serve you very well. You don't necessarily need to bring her to E5, and I highly recommend you don't. E3 would probably be the max you really want to take her, but honestly, a 10-star with the right support around her will make her live. The whole point of Heartwatcher is her Watcher mark, so she does not do good damage by herself, so do not make her one of your first heroes. But once you have a good damage dealer like some of these other ones on the list, you are definitely going to want a Heartwatcher on your account. Her Watcher marks make you do up to 300% more damage on the targets affected. That is absolutely huge. Now, if you have a 9-star Heartwatcher, it takes, I believe, about 12 rounds to fully maximize her buff on 2 targets like Broken Spaces. When we're talking about 3 targets like in the guild bosses and Flame Shrine, it's going to take a little bit more. A 10-star, I believe, only takes 8 or 9 rounds. I actually forget exactly what it is now, but again, it's going to be different in Broken Spaces because there's only 2 targets to hit, because this active ability again only hits 2 targets. The other thing her active ability does do is it reduces their attack by 25% for 2 rounds, so that helps survivability on your team. Of course, her basic does the very similar ability, but instead of stacking at 45% per attack, it's 35%. But overall, she is like the end-all be-all. You have to have her for your maximum PvE progress. Next up is going to be Drake at number 4. So just like Heartwatcher, he is another hero that you absolutely need to maximize your damage when it comes to PvE. And PvE is going to be getting you guild coins, resources. It's very important to not neglect PvE. Even if you're a PvP player, you want to maximize your PvE progress to get more resources to build more heroes. Now, the whole reason Drake is amazing comes down to his defense down ability. You've probably heard me talk about this in a couple other top 5 videos in the world. I mean, Drake is kind of that hero you need on your account. Why? Because at 10-star, his skill effect will reduce the target 100% of armor, damage reduction, all damage reduction, block, dodge, everything. So you wouldn't think that might be a ton, but there's a lot of different game modes where the bosses actually have upwards of like 50% damage reduction. So if you're getting rid of that 50% damage reduction, you're doubling your damage essentially. It's really good. Plus you're stripping off armor, any block they might have that might also lower it. It just completely gets it gone. But of course it only affects one target. But most of the time you're killing one target faster than the other anyway, so this will automatically go onto the target with the lowest HP. Is very smart in that way. It is a perfect combo with Heartwatcher because she's making your damage go up. Well, his is also making it going up by making their defenses go down. So it's a really great combo having both a Drake and a Heartwatcher. Again, you really want to get him up to 10-star because there is a big difference between the 10 and 6-star versions. The 6-star is only 70% of those stats, whereas the 10-star version is 100%. So you definitely want to get Shadow Alert for that defense down for PvE. Next up, we have Tix. Now, Tix is, again, probably the best second E5 to build. He's not a horrible first E5, but you should really wait and build someone else as your first E5. Tix is absolutely amazing in so many game modes. So he can get Seal-In 20 done. That's great and all if you need Shadow Seal-In done. He's a good option once you start getting some artifacts, some Void Imprints, all that stuff. Now, the places he is most needed Is number one, Tower of Oblivion to get cleared to 650 is very important because we are going to have Tower of Dreamland coming out, and you have to have all the way to Tower 650 cleared and done to unlock that, because that's going to give us more resources for other game modes, so you're really going to want to prioritize it. Plus, he is probably one of the easiest free-to-play heroes to get for Aspen Dungeon Death 100. Get a Punisher staff on him, get him maybe some Resonance gear down the road. Absolutely amazing hero. But as good as he is in Aspen Dungeon, I almost feel like his value is going up even more just because the new Tower of Oblivion game mode, Tower of Dreamland. He is absolutely amazing. You throw an energy artifact on him with his active ability, it will just absolutely devastate and wreck and help you clear Tower of Oblivion. He can even get you past those pesky mim waves. Now you're gonna need like a higher ranked level E3, E5 ticks and a bunch of baby ticks. Now you don't necessarily need to build a second ticks, but you need those baby ticks and a Michelle for those death passives to let all these abilities here, these when you die inflicts revenging wraith, it does a ton of damage. He's also going to be needed for your void vortex pushes, so anything past Explorer, Valiant, you're gonna need a E5 ticks. Even if you're not using him in the normal mode and you're going for the cheese mode, you're going to need this ticks because this wraith is going to kill the Bell Rains, which is going to be one of the most difficult heroes to kill in Void Vortex. Coming in at number 2 is actually going to be a surprise, I think, to a lot of people, and that is Fiona. So Fiona is a pure support hero because she's a priest, but she can do some really crazy things in PvE if you don't have a really solid PvE damage dealer. Her ability with her sanction marks just make her start ramping up more and more damage. You've probably seen it. I'll actually put a link. I mean, she's like a god tier hero in both PvP, PvE, Void Vortex, which is a really important one here, and mainly it comes down to her shielding ability. I'll protect everyone. So when the battle starts, all allies gain a shield equal to 1,000% of her attack and a layer of redemption that will also be able to heal her or heal the target whenever they lose that shield. And then of course when the round ends, it gives 2 allies with the lowest health the shield as well. Now this shield is capped at 5,000 of self-attack. It also is capped at the attack of the target that is receiving the shield, so you can cheese it with magic stone swords and stuff. But as you guys saw on our free-to-play account, even if you haven't seen it, go check out the free-to-play account. Season 1, when we built the Fiona, she makes our team so much more tankier, and survivability goes through the roof even before you get her to E5. We were doing broken spaces with her, and we were having our Heartwatchers and our Drakes that were very low level, like 9 stars, dying off in broken spaces 5, 6, and 7. The second we put the Fiona in, that completely changed the game up. And the one big reason why I say you really need her is you need an E5 Fiona in order to cheese out Void Vortex. So as soon as you get in Void Vortex, you're going to need your baby Inosuke, your baby Delaciums. You're going to need an Ignis at 10 star, but what you're definitely going to need is an E5 Fiona for those shields. So building an E5 Fiona, she's going to be useful in just about every single game mode outside of Aspen Dungeon. I don't think she's very good in Aspen Dungeon. She's a single target damage dealer, which is very bad for her when it comes to Aspen Dungeon, but she is absolutely amazing, and I would definitely recommend if you're in the mid game to try to prioritize and build her. And last up, coming in at number 1 in my opinion is Ithaca. So Ithaca is amazing for doing Sealand once you have a max pet and get some upgraded artifacts and some baby Tix copies. She is the queen, the goddess, the tippy top tier of PvE damage dealers. Even if you're not running a Delacium army, her abilities are just absolutely crazy and disgusting. Poisonous Blade is like, it's so broken overpowered, because if you have your Heartwatcher, if you have your Drake, if you have Rogan's buffing her, her dots are based on the damage she deals. So it's not like a % of her attack like most heroes that have dot abilities. It deals like 1,000% of their attack or 2,000% of their attack. It just does a flat 50% damage dealt. It is absolutely crazy. Plus she has armor break, which doesn't really matter as much because you should be running a Drake with her anyway, but she's just absolutely amazing. Now she is no good in PvP, of course, but we don't really care about that. She does pretty good in Aspen Dungeon. She'll get you to like death 50. I probably seen very, very high tier like V4 Ithaca's be able to clear up to Death 100, but it's very, very difficult. And of course, she's not that great in tower. But what she does have a use in the end game is against the Void Arc bosses. Her damaging abilities are absolutely amazing. You put an Ignis with her, so when the Ignis dies in round 1, gives her 100% control immunity. She will pop off and be the best single target damage dealer there is in the game. So she has early game uses, mid game uses, end game uses. You will always use her in some game mode, and she will always have a use. So let me know what you guys think about the list. Leave a comment down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, do all those things that I tell you to do all the time. Let me know what you think though. I'd love to know if you think any of the heroes should be cut off the list, if anybody should be added to the list. Let me know what you think about Fiona too. It's one I really had to consider a lot, but I think she deserves to be in the number 2 slot. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. See you guys next time.